Congratulations to all of the winners in the network category. Our next presenter tonight is Nina Totenberg, the legal affairs correspondent for National Public Radio. Nina?
Thank you, Ed. It's on nights like this I'm kind of proud to be a journalist. Our next awards are in the major market category. These are for stations in the 10 largest metropolitan areas in the country. The first major market award is a result of a long-term effort by KPIX, a Group W station in San Francisco. Over a period of 5 years, a single producer gathered material about several California youngsters, all juvenile offenders sentenced to the care of the California Youth Administration. He followed them with cameras as they moved in and out of custody. Eventually, he assembled this stunning hour-long broadcast documenting the failures of the juvenile justice system. Here's an excerpt from Ward of the State.
Ready?
Joseph was sentenced to the O.H. Close Training School in Stockton in September 1984. He was convicted of sexually molesting a 6-year-old girl. He was 13 at the time.
He is one of several hundred sexual offenders currently in the Youth Authority, and he was sent there to receive help in a special psychiatric treatment program.
But 2 years later, in 1986, Joseph was still on the waiting list to get into the treatment program.
This here Sonora Hall program sees lockers, beds.
In 1988, Joe was finally placed in the Sexual Offenders Treatment Program, but according to his counselors, he failed to successfully complete it. He was then transferred to Holton School.
This here is my bed area. Sleep here every day, night, 7 days a week.
By now, Joe has spent nearly 5 years in the CYA. When Joe was first admitted to the CYA, a report stated,
"It was felt by the staff that this ward, because of his immaturity and sexual activity, could be abused by older wards. Therefore, it is important that the ward be in the program where peers could not abuse him."
Just a few weeks after that report, Joe was sexually assaulted by 4 other boys.
I was scared. I was tense at that moment because I felt, if I didn't cooperate, they would have, tried to choke me, gag me, and put me to sleep, and I was already in a bad position, and I was trying to struggle my way through. Happy 18th birthday, Joey. Well,
it has been 7 months since Joe has seen his parents. Because Joe's parents live so far away, they seldom can afford to see him.
It's so hard to believe he's 18, though, because he's been away so long.
Okay,
5 years. Because he left when he was shortly after he was 13, and now he's 18. Where did the years go?
On December 1989, Joe was transferred to a 4th school, where he was enrolled in another sex offenders group. His next parole hearing was postponed until June 1990.
Bye. I'll see you as soon as I can. Bye.
In his last appearance before the parole board, Joseph was again denied parole. He remains in detention, and the parole board has the power to keep him locked up until 1992.
And here to accept the silver baton for KPIX in San Francisco is producer Richard Sides.
Thank you very much. This is a very special award. Thank you to the jurors of the DuPont Columbia Awards. It's great to recognize this effort because it gives voice to those people in our society that have very little voice. Time, I think, is probably the most precious resource that we have in television. And I think it's extraordinary that KPIX, a local station, gave me so much time on this project. And I want to thank the executive producers and program directors that oversaw this project over its lifetime, starting with Ann Miller, Ron Lorenzen, and Jim Lutton, who's here with me tonight. Also the audio person, Bill Corona, who gave me beautiful sound, Kane Shin, who did a seamless job of editing this, Richard Jett, who was the shooter in 1986, and Shelley Fay. It was his last project, and this one is for you, Shelley Fay. Thank you.
Now to our second major market award. The DuPont Columbia jurors noted that scores of local television stations were proud enough of their own coverage of the Gulf War to submit it for consideration by our jurors. One entry, however, stood out far above the others, and that was WFAA-TV in Dallas, a station that consistently takes its journalistic responsibilities very seriously. WFAA devoted a great deal of its staff and resources to covering the story at home and in the Middle East.